What's up, guys? Killer back with another Empires and Puzzles video. Today, I got my man Hutton on the line with me, and we are going to go over the top 10 green heroes in the game right now. Oh, Hutton, say hi to the people. Introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope everyone's keeping safe out there.
Yeah. So, Hutton and I go back to, I believe, Chef's Alliance, right? Maybe a little bit before then, or no, Chef's Alliance.
It was the kitchen, yeah. I mean, I joined Tenacious. I think you just left a few weeks prior to that, and then
Okay.
jumped over to Chef's Alliance and then onto the Nation.
Yeah. So we both had similar interests in why we were departing from that alliance, and then I think based off us knowing each other, you just came over, and then you came on as leadership. Hutton has always been my balance. That's why this green color is him. He's that nature guy. He's that smooth, even guy. He always brought balance to the
Red and green.
leadership. No, no,
Red and green.
you and TC always brought balance, a pretty even kill, um, calming, saying what you said. What's the word I'm looking for? I think it's the word I'm looking for is affinitive. Is that the right word? Like in other words, like
Calm and influence. Calm and influence.
well, that's why the two common colors have got them in YouTube. So I got TC did blue, and that's coming out I think Monday. It's Sunday today, and then I got you with green, and so you guys are my common colors. So I just really appreciate you following me over to Nation, hanging out there with me, man. You've always been a really big part of the Nation. I don't know if I've ever said that. We've never really talked like this a couple times through messages, but
We have. Yeah.
yeah, Hutton's been
No,
a.
this is good. It's good fun.
Say that again.
I said it's been good fun. We've had a good chat prior to this, so
Yeah, yeah, we had a great chat prior to this. Like, it's just amazing to me, like how actually similar we are in our tastes. We were just talking about how we're not really cookie cutter players. Like, we like to play the game for fun. Hutton's been playing almost going on 3 years now. I'm going on almost 3 years, and we don't necessarily have accounts that fit just every meta that is gone, but we have accounts that fit how we like to play, and that was really
100%.
interesting. I think another topic that we brought up before we get into this list, which I think is we have a great list for you guys. Say what you were saying about your theory with the hero of the month tank, or excuse me, what you were saying about tanks versus like Telluria, Cutchin, Ursina versus Gwen. Like I thought that was a very good topic.
I mean, I don't think we'll be giving too much away before we even start the list. I think most people can probably second guess who's going to take top spot.
Yeah.
Um, but there's been this do we nerf or don't we nerf her argument going on, is she overpowered? And I don't, in my opinion, I don't think they will nerf her, even though I do think she is slightly overpowered. I think the biggest problem comes with the fact that she's a hero of the month, which if you didn't get her, I don't mean to rub it in here, but it's easier to get a hero of the month with a reasonable balance than it is an event hero. So you're looking at, you mentioned Guinevere. You've got a 3-day window to capture every event that comes round. Hero of the month, you've got 28, 30, 31 days to try and snag it. So I think it's the majority of people that have her, and that's what's causing the issue, rather than it's overinflated the problem. In my opinion, it's made it bigger than what it was. If fewer people had her, it just wouldn't be the issue that it is.
And see, I think this is a great topic, and I think I can bring this also to my live. But I think people will, hopefully you guys leave comments in the section and let us know how we did. But I think them having Gwen being, like you said, that event hero, it's less availability. And I think that was my biggest argument of switching from green to purple tanks because how hard was it to get a Ursina if she's on the banner every month for 3 days? You could have snagged a Ursina similar to, I guess you would say, number two for, I guess what they did is similar to what they did with purple tanks. Cutchin to me was the number one tank for wars. And the reason I say that is because the availability of the zero board. And a lot of people don't get that, but you start to see a lot of zero boards with Telluria and Heimdall. But now Heimdall is that Ursina because Heimdall's available every month now. So where a lot of alliances were so close to having that full board of Ursina Cutchin because of the availability of Ursina. So you could, if you didn't catch Cutchin, you could get Ursina on Atlantis. A lot of people were just getting her. And then now, if you don't have that Telluria, you can grab Heimdall, which still gives you that almost guaranteed zero on the board. So it's very interesting that that's where the meta went. Gwen is a standalone meta tank. There was no other yellows when Gwen came out there, or even I'd say Gwen as a tank was one by like 100 meters ahead of everybody else running a 100 meter race. Um, Telluria and Heimdall, I think Telluria still trumps her because of the speed, but Heimdall is not far behind. And also, it's tough to get ahead of Heimdall once he gets rolling. Another thing was with Cutchin, if he got rolling, it was tough to catch up. But if Ursina went off, you were almost paralyzed with your yellows. So it's interesting that they've got that same theory going on with Heimdall and Telluria. And now that we had this conversation and putting it together, it just makes a lot of sense as to what they're doing.
I
Telluria
mean,
being, go ahead.
in my opinion, you look at heroes that have been out in the past. There's never been a hero that's come out and changed the game this much. When Ursina came out, everybody said she's overpowered. Fair enough. Everyone was saying that Guinevere was overpowered. But when Cutchin and Ursina came out, Guinevere was still the tank of the choice for the top 10, top 20 alliances. They weren't running purple, they were running yellows. Nobody ran green tanks. Nobody. There was only probably Yunnan that really you could argue the case for. Telluria comes out. When you look at the top 100, and I would probably suggest 80 out of the top 100 alliances are now running Telluria. And it's the saturation. That's the problem. There's no diversity anymore. Every time you go into I mean, fair enough, we've just fought a red tank, but you're not going to see that anymore. What are we going to face today? It's just disappeared from the game because you pretty much know. I mean, we're setting up war tactics before around green tanks. So when the war starts and it's not green tanks, you're almost like, oh, didn't see that coming.
You're off guard. Yeah, like we used to catch blue tanks when we were going against purple, and we didn't see yellow or purple, and just catch a blue, you're like off guard. And it's funny because, like, I'll be honest with you, my scores are terrible against blue tanks. Blue tanks mess me up. I don't know why. Like I have teams that can fight them, but they mess me up.
Overconfidence.
Yeah. That's what it is. Overconfidence. I agree. I get cocky. I get a little I'm gonna beat them, but it is what it is. Another thing I will say that I think that has changed with Cutchin, Ursina meta versus Gwen meta, and Telluria or Green Tank meta has to be the 20 emblems. When Telluria came out, she could go to 20 emblems. Most people had 20 emblems of Paladin. Like I think I have 20 emblems of Paladin that I could put on my Telluria. And I think that might be another thing that is her being a paladin, but the 20 emblems behind that, to where you have a 30%, it's 30% chance that she's going to get that 25% increase of defense. Her and Heimdall being the same, having that chance, just that extra survivability, that 25%, that whatever, that 25% increase of defense is reduce the natural damage, mitigates them. And if you catch a bad cascade, they go off, and then their go off heals them both, and then also heals the team. But then the slow mana and the shield up. So now, I mean, if you kill Heimdall and you focus Heimdall, it's 4 people who have a 500 buff shield on top of, whatever they got from the buff, and then it's just crazy. After us having this conversation, I thought it was really interesting to just drop that little bit of knowledge, because it's real interesting that the hero of the month and the event or the seasonal hero are the meta, and I think that's what the shift's going to be for season 4. I think there's going to be hero of the month that drops. I believe it's going to be blue next year, and it's going to be a blue hero in season 4 that will be the meta. And I think it'll go blue before it goes red. I think red's going to get really attacky here soon. And I mean, like they're gonna probably add a couple people with like 750 attack in the red here pretty soon, I think, and they're gonna build their stat up. But I think blue's our next. I think is our next tank meta swing for season 4. And I mean, you can quote this video on it, but that's what I think. And I think they're gonna do it the exact same way. It's gonna be the season 4 hero and a hero of the month, and that's who's gonna be the leading meta for next year.
But one of the other things we mentioned just before was that how the introduction of one hero can make another hero relevant.
Yes.
Because you've got like Villa, who again very good hero. She was on some people's defenses, but she's now on everybody's defenses purely down to being so synergized with Telluria. So anybody that had her didn't max her, and I was one of those. I had a unleveled since the day I pulled her. as soon as Telluria pops up, they're the next two heroes up, and they're straight into my defence.
Yep.
So as heroes come out, there will be natural synergy with other heroes that have perhaps been out for longer periods of time, and so it goes, really.
Yeah, it's amazing the synergy that like those two have together. Like you said, it makes Vela almost the second most desirable hero in the game. People would say Finley's the better blue, but I think Vela makes more sense on the raid team in the war team than Finley does. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could argue that both ways, but um, you can substitute the Finley out versus the Vela. It just makes Telluria and them two, they're just so nasty together. And I think,
Ironically as well, because we're talking about defense here, but if you flip that and say, well, what about raiding? All of a sudden, Mitsuko is probably the must-have hero for raiding, because everybody's running Telluria. So everybody's running Telluria is probably running Vela, and the natural counterbalance to Vela is Mitsuko. So she's gone from being somebody who was good to now somebody who's almost a must-have, absolutely must-have, to go up against these defenses.
I'm probably leveling my second Mitsuko for my next set of rings because it's just I know what's coming. If we get into that top 100 with Grizzly Isolation Nation, which I believe is coming, all we're going to be doing is seeing Telluria Vela from here on out. So it does make a lot of sense.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's Finley on the wing, Gravemaker, Telluria, Vela, and a lot of the times it's Jabberwock if you've got the account.
Jabberwock is nuts. It's nuts. You know what? It's tough to one shot that team. I'm not gonna front. I don't know if anybody caught that interview with TC Cap and Dater, where Dater said it's about to start playing to where you're playing who has the best luck against the two shots, and it's pretty much he said it's going to be the defense because of how the game is going. And I've said this multiple times on mine. I don't know why you'd want to make a game to where the defenses are so strong that you're playing to lose better than you are playing to win. I just like playing to win, but
that's another thing that Telluria has single-handedly changed, not just opinions on the game, but it's now become all about the defense.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking defense. 3 months ago, everyone was on about offense, rating, offense. One hero comes out and the whole thing changes. So everybody is now thinking, well, who can I put on my defense team? People are stripping emblems, investing hand, investing iron, investing money to make it happen. And whereas we were just saying before, you could normally take your 6 flags and a raid flask and fill a chest. And not anymore.
No.
You're probably pumping 100 gems in just to fill your chest. So that defense method is making money.
It's a day to fill that raid chest up now. I agree with that 100%. Man,
it's brutal.
Yeah. Man, let's get to this list. I know that was a tangent on the video, but guys, I just thought it was information. I thought it was really interesting. It's a big subject, and I think that Hutton hit it spot on. So I had to let you guys know where this guy's skill and brain is coming from. So I don't just hang around these people that don't make me better. They're better and they make me better. So that's how it goes. So at number 10, I'm gonna go even, you go odd, so that way it gives you the number 1 spot. At number 10, I'm gonna go with Tarlac is our number 10 hero. Guys, Tarlac comes in with he was the first pretty much straight buffer for the Titans. He increases the tile damage 100%. When Tarlac came out, he changed Titan scores. This was the first prep in getting us to the 14-star, 13-star Titan. I guess that was the heal, the bump. If you didn't have Tarlac, if you don't have Mickey, people are asking if those are the number 1 and 2 people you bring to Titans. So Tarlac had to make this list. He's not as powerful as Mickey, but he is certainly a great substitute. You got anything on Tarlac?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these heroes are based on how much money I've spent actually trying to get them, and he's one of these people that has frustrated me. I don't have him. I wish I did. It's just a very, very good hero. Again, there's a few heroes on the list, and the reason they are so good is they just make other players better, other team members better. They're good on their own, but it's what they do to everybody else that makes them so important. And he definitely fits into that category. But you're right, the absolutely valuable for Titans as well.
The one thing I will say about Tarlac is he is a monk, and he also has the Laguna family bonus, which the Laguna family bonus is actually attack up. Tarlac has, I think, the highest tile damage. It might be Margaret and him that are number one and two, and don't quote me on that, but I think he has the highest tile damage for green. If not, he's number two. Um,
Mm.
the problem with him is no one in the Laguna family that you really put with him except maybe on a Red Titan if he only had Miss Sandra that could actually benefit his Laguna buff. So his Laguna buff is
Okay.
kind of null and void. You don't ever get to use it. I guess you could put Mokard on a yellow Titan too if you had a Mokard. I don't see
Mm.
too many people running Mokard Tarlac or Lysandra Tarlac. So his Laguna buff
No.
kind of is negated. Him being a monk mitigating defense or debuffs against him, I can see that uh, being helpful, except for I guess when it's a attack down. But for the
Mhm.
most part, you're not worried about Tarlac getting hurt. He has low defense, but for the most part, he's there to buff that team. Once they get off that tile, he's such an offensive player. I think he's way better on offense than he is on defense. I don't run him on my raid defense anymore. I did it one time when I was trying to test some things, but super strong hero.
The biggest compliment I can probably give him is he's one of those heroes that can kill you when he's dead.
Yeah,
So he goes off, somebody pops him, and he's still going to kill you for the effect that he has on his other players. He can still take you down, even though he's not even on the battlefield, and that's why
absolutely.
he's in the list for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go into number 9. That's on you.
So yeah, coming in at number 9, looking fine, is Lady of the Lake. So again, 5-star healer, does what she does really, really well. But obviously, what really makes her stand out is that the minions that she kicks out and the mana drain from them. Oh, once she gets rolling, it is just nigh on impossible to sort of get her down. So just a exceptionally good healer.
Here's
I hate
another here's another topic that kind of came up while we were talking about this meta change, and this is the idea that I think I came up with. But the sorcerer role, the sorcerer class, is starting to me make the most sense for the 4-1 tank position. In other words, what I mean is running your sorcerer as that one with 4 surrounding. We talked about Mitsuko being probably one of the most desired offensive players in the game right now because of the shield reflect. We talked about Ursina having that yellow reflect. If you pick a team in war where you're out of Mitsuko, but there's a Drake coming, I could see you or Anatil or Nortz or anybody who's June, Poseidon, whatever, to reflect to kill that hero. Because that's really what you're trying to do. Get the reflect off so you can kill that hero from them. Their special going up here. This hero, Lady of the Lake, being a sorcerer, flipping the minions to where the minions start to attack the mana to where those heroes don't go off as fast. In a heal, she has a really big heal.
it.
It's really interesting. I could see her being a 4-1 person that you run your fast mana troop on, and then when she goes off, because she has the heal, she just slowly keeps you alive from preventing the specials from killing you, and you can come back. Um,
Yeah.
it's interesting that sorcerer role. Like it's funny that if you had to list the sorcerers, which would be, I think, Ursina, Mitsuko, Nortz, her, and then I don't think there's a blue sorcerer yet. They're
Is Rumpelstiltskin Skinner?
Rumple's is, yeah, Rumple. I mean, I would take Rumple on a 4-1 setup. The sorcerer
Yeah.
role is really interesting, and then they're all really, really good. Like I really can't think of a sorcerer other than Rumple being a little dated. I can't think of a sorcerer that I wouldn't level. Like if I could level Rumple, I would level Rumple. Um,
Yeah.
but let's get on to number. She does come from the Knights of Avalon, so that's a crit and defense, I believe.
She does.
Yeah, so she has a crit defense buff. Minions are super annoying. Great for the very fast tournaments when there's no red. Oh my goodness, she is probably the most desired tank there because her minions go off in 2 turns, and then next thing you know, you can't get a special off because she keeps hitting you with minions. Annoying. Um, Number 8, we've got Albie. Albie's at number 8. Albie,
Oldie but a goodie.
yeah, oldie but a goodie. That 33% res, him being a druid, him having the mana up. Today I ran him, and if it weren't for Albie, I'd have lost that fight. Albie's such a strong hero that it's like you can't overlook him. You can't not. He's one of those people when he's on the board, he makes you target him on board. If he's not the number one target, he's always the number two target for sure. Um, that's what I got on Albie. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it just like you said, he's someone that you've got to keep an eye on. You can't let him keep doing his thing in the corner because he will quickly turn what should be a win into a devastating loss pretty quickly, and that's the sign of an excellent hero, which again is why he's in the top 10. But yeah, and he's been around for quite a while as well. So when you've got a slow hero that's been around as long as he has, and he's still in the top 10, it does say something about how good he is.
I think the mana up and the heal up, and then what happens is Albie goes from slow at first to average, and then what you don't realize is that because his mana up stays up, it seems like he just keeps going faster and faster and faster. I think my Albie in
Oh,
the war today went off twice, if not three times. I had a slow go off three times. That's
yeah.
crazy in a fight. Uh, and that's the thing with the slow heroes. A lot of people say, it's a fast meta. Clearly, we want to get them out of here quick. The problem with slow heroes is when they go off and they keep going off, it's such a game changer of a special. And this is another one that's a big game changer of a special. Him being a druid, his stats are fairly weak because he's dated, but at the same time, Albie's one that if you don't have Mother North, great substitute. If you don't have Heimdall, you can't argue with Albie. He's right there. And if it weren't for Albie, there would be no Heimdall Mother North. Number seven, that's on you. So I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, number 7 is Evelyn. So fast archer, um, dispeller. I mean, again, just drop down for the greens. Again, fantastic on Titans. If you've got her on your Titan team, you're going to notice a vastly increased score. But again, she's another one of those heroes that good on her own, but makes everybody else exponentially better, especially if you're running a green heavy team. And anybody that's got her will know that. So yeah, just an extremely good hero. The only drawback, really, in my opinion, is the Ranger
Yep.
class. I think it's probably the weakest out of the classes. Again, opinions vary, but for me,
It's
bypassing it,
it's
it's just a little
saturated.
bit wishy-washy.
That's what it is. It's saturated. It's
Yeah,
like everybody's a
again,
ranger.
but the actual skill itself.
Yeah. I think Evelyn comes with one of the best chains for green. So if you're running her on your four green team, like for instance, I run her with the Mother North and Tarlac, and I got Evelyn's heal going off. So if I got
Yeah,
Tarlac buff with a small heal, Evelyn's small heal, and then Mother North comes with a big heal, you don't really need. I know this sounds weird. If you can get it rolling, you don't need the dispel, which green doesn't really have a dispeller for themselves. But because with that team you can out heal it because of the chain. Another
yeah,
thing I'll say about Evelyn is if you don't have a dispeller on your team for the enemy team, that's where she comes in as a great wing. You put her in that one spot, and I think that's the spot you put her in to where she makes the tile better or her hit better for herself, but also after your enemy team gets that buff up, she debuffs it, and then she makes herself stronger against them. Um, Again, the weakest part about Evelyn, I agree with you, is a ranger. Pretty decent stats. She's fast. She is, pretty much the Green Panther, except she has a little bit better stats and she has that nature chain. Um,
yeah,
Pretty self-explanatory. Oh, another thing, she was a beautiful card. I love the redhead.
yeah.
I think this card is beautiful. She was my waifu when she first came out back in I think Christmas 2019. I was like, so
Dang.
yeah, she was good. Man, I feel like I almost got a sneeze, but I can't. All right, at number six, I'm gonna go forward. Number six, we've got uh Lianna, and it's not Liliana skin, it's regular Liliana. And I thought this is real interesting. I might just pass this back to Hutton because he made a great argument. I'll let you go ahead and take it away with this one.
Cheers, man. Yeah, what I was basically saying is that when I take a sniper into a battle, I'm looking for the maximum amount of damage. I want it to be, whatever it hits, it destroys to coin Rocky for. But fundamentally, what they've done is they've given the costume. I think it's a minus 34 mana generation. But my argument is, if I'm firing Liana into a hero, if it isn't dead, it's on life support. It's hanging on. So I don't really see the minus 34 mana generation as being additional. If it was to nearby enemies, then that would be different. But I don't see the benefit of the reduced damage. I know that the stats have gone up a little bit, but I wouldn't think that would counteract the the increase that you get for the non-skin. But yeah, if you're taking a sniper, if you're going to punch someone in the face, you're going to punch them as hard as you can, really, so they don't get back up.
Absolutely. You know,
That's the job.
she's an oldie but goodie, and another thing too is her stats are really strong. For even being old, the only thing you see here that she's lacking is health. 17, 18 on the defense and 7, 29 on the attack, and then a 5, 12 snipe. If you pair her with Evelyn, I mean that's a one shot. You know, and I'm with you. Another thing too to add though, even if we don't have her in her skin form, you add the skin to her, and now you've increased her stats by 5%. So now her health is back on par. Her mana just increased, her defense just increased, and her attack increased. And then you throw a few archer emblems on her, and you've got probably the most, I would say, the purest sniper in the game until some other cards come out. But Liliana would, stat wise, would hit harder than other ones. June right now, I believe, is hitting the hardest based off of stats with the emblems. I could see Liliana taking that back over if you fully emblem them out, but who's to say? Not to mention Archer.
She was a bit of a one-trick pony, but what a trick!
What a trick, right? I mean, like, what a trick. All right, at number 5, that's going to be on you.
Yeah, so we have probably, in my opinion, the best card in the game, Zeline. Oh, just an amazing looking card, but damage to all, reduction of damage to all, dispel. It's just, if they were bringing her out now, it wouldn't surprise me if it was just to nearby enemies. She's that good. And again, she stands the test of time. She's been out for a long time, and she's still probably one of the, well, in our opinion, still one of the best greens in the game. And if you stand the test of time, it's a testimony to how good you actually are. So she does a lot. She does a lot to everybody, and she just does it really well. So
I think what people sleep on Zeline is Zeline does increase damage to blues. I think that's one of the most slept on part of her tech. Another big slept on part of tech is she's not doing this stuff to some people. She's doing this stuff to everybody. She dispels the whole team. She reduces that defense to the whole team. She then hits the whole team. She's the first 4-1 tech that we had that nobody talks about. Like everybody's like, oh, she shouldn't have been that high in her 35, and clearly she hasn't made the top on any other list. But it's a real strong argument with people who hit all that to me you would make them a tank. And in my opinion, in this meta where she's going, you put her as a tank because you don't have your Telluria, you don't have your Heimdall, you don't get the Catelyn or the Catelyn skin, and you can see this with like I don't know a Zim next to her, and then she keeps going off. Like I think that combination Zeline and Zim ZZ. Oh man, such a great combination. It was so annoying when Cutchin was viable, and it was so annoying when Gwen was viable. And I think it can still be annoying in this green meta we have now. When you do see it and you get that board, it's not against it. It's tough to come back from. I don't have her. I got the reason that this card is up is because this is the old animation. The new animation has her with a pair of Victoria's Secrets on. This one does not, and I like it better. It's a much sexier card. But I don't know her class. I want to say her class is wizard. I think she's a wizard.
Yeah, she's a wizard.
Okay, so you're talking about a jinx on a hit all of 15% damage, and I think it applies to even her normal attack. She could jinx you and hit you harder. It's just tough to say anything bad about this card. Yes, old, dated, a little bit past, but man, what a great hero! I'm so mad I do not have this hero. Like when I get her, trust me, if I got her, she'd be my next green hands down. I wouldn't care. Like she's just that type of card for me. I'm gonna move on. At number 4, we've got your boy Kingston. Arguably one of the most relevant snipers right now in the game. Protects himself against what he's weak against. Hits like a truck and then reduces the damage to the 3 beside you, which usually in that case, like I don't know, if I have 2 snipers on one side, I always shoot the sniper side just to make sure Kingston reduces the damage of the sniper who's going to hit me. He's a fighter class, so he comes back to life. He doesn't get burned. Oh my goodness. The John F. useless. Natalia useless. Gravemaker. Okay, you hit me. So what? I mean, Marjana. The part of Marjana that really is the annoying part is the 6 burn damage. That's not happening against him. You just hit him. Aslar, this new Aslar that's coming out is about the, I mean, that eternal burn. Like Aslar hits pretty good, so yeah, that'll hurt him. But then the undispellable burn that Aslar's about to get with his skin, not going to affect this guy at all. We've never seen a card that just made the most sense. We have Ranveer that's reduced against poison, but who cares? Nobody uses Ranveer.
I remember when Kingston was coming out, there was a big fanfare before he came out and then after he came out. And to be fair, for quite a long time, up until very recently, he made a lot of defence teams because he was probably one of the best greens going for your defence. All that's happened now is, again, the Telluria effect, if you will, because people don't necessarily, run a they'll run a rainbow defence. Not everybody, but the majority of people, unless you've got a crazy account, will run a rainbow defence. And your green is now Telluria. So you've started to see people withdrawing Kingston out of the defence. I mean, you used to see him all the time, didn't you? Every other raid was doing the green in the defence was a Kingston. You don't see that anymore purely because Telluria, and that's just another effect that she's had on the game. You don't see half as much of him as you used to, but still a crazy good hero for a raiding.
As much as we talk about archers being saturated, I think fire saturated is probably the second saturated group. You're talking about June Skin's a fighter. You're talking about Fenrir just came out. He's a fighter. Tyre just came out. He's a fighter. So some of the new shinies, as Fear put it in the last video, the new shinies are matching this. And if you're not going to use Kingston on your defense, so he doesn't need the emblems, clearly you're stripping him and putting him on those two guys. And then you've got just so many other fighters that just been, are really influential. Magni skin coming out here pretty soon. That's going to be a fighter one. So it'd be real interesting if you did Tyre or Fenrir, or if you go to the Magni costume where he becomes a druid, and then you do a fighter on Magni and do the druid costume. And I know that's a lot of future talk, but that's.
I think one of the things to bear in mind if you're relatively new to the game is that people ask a lot, and season play scholastics, by the way, is who should I ascend next? Do I ascend this or do I ascend that? And again, one of the biggest things is, look, what are they going to do to your team? If you're going to level a hero, what role is he going to play in your roster? Is he going to be a main defense? Because if he is, then that's probably your best choice. But think about the emblems. Think about, who am I going to have to take emblems off to give to him, or am I going to have to take them off anybody? If you've got a truckload of, you've got 1,000 sorcerer emblems sat there, and you're debating whether to level one or the other, and one's a sorcerer. A lot of the time, look, if he's going to go into your defense, then that's probably the way to go. So emblems play a big part nowadays.
Yeah. And here's another thing about Kingston. A lot of people don't like that I've done in the past, but I think it's true. Okay, so if you're not quite leveled your Telluria, your Heimdall, which are your main two tanks that are going into this new green meta, and you already have Kingston, you already have emblems on them, slow down, think it through, run an all sniper team. Prior to me leveling my Telluria, I ran an all sniper team with Kingston being the main tank. Now, does Kingston get beat up in that position? Absolutely. But the problem is, by the time you beat Kingston up, my other 4 snipers on the side of him are killing one of your people, and I'm not a one-shot team. It's a strategic game, guys. As Oil put it, is play the puzzle. Work what puzzle pieces work better for you. If you have the snipers, if you had 5 snipers, 1 in each color, you don't have Telluria, you don't have Heimdall. Run a sniper team. Reduce your amount of points you're worth, so it doesn't make sense for somebody to hit you again or hit against you. And then, run a sniper team to where it's at least I'm going to take you out before you take me out, and you might have to take me out in 2 flags. Do what's better for your alliance. And this is one of those heroes that can actually do that if you're running green tanks. When he came out, I thought that he could possibly be a green tank, and then we ran it one time in Killer Nation, but it didn't work out the way we barely won that war. Oh man,
that's the failed experiment, but it was close.
It was fun, but yeah. All right, at number 3, I'm gonna give it to you.
So coming at number 3 is Mother North. Probably my favourite hero in the entire game. I was lucky enough to get her not this year, the year before, so I leveled her up straight away. But I like everything about this hero. But the biggest thing for me, and the reason that people might say, she's a slow hero, why is she number 3 over some of your snipers? One of the biggest things for me is what effect does a hero have when it goes off? How can it change the war? And anybody that has a res, especially with this as high as hers did, the amount of times I've won raids that I have no right to win. I mean, I'm 4-1 down, any other hero, and I'm just getting out of there. But if you can get it to go off, you've got a good chance people are coming back. So, if you were 4-1 down, I mean, for example, Kingston was one place below her in our list. If you're 4-1, Kingston's your last man standing, and you're facing 4 of the opposition. You're not going to walk away from that one many times. Mother North is just a game changer.
Yeah.
An insane amount of, again, I can't think of another hero that you would place on the wing that has the defense stats that she has. The best place for it is left wing. You'll very rarely hear anybody who is slow fitting on the wing, but that's her best place. And she's got more beef than a cattle ranch. She is beefy. So you take your eye off her and then think, I'll let a mana get up and then I'll take her out. Oh, she takes some killing.
Yeah. I've won multiple wars with my green team because of Mother North. My favorite thing is when Mother North goes off, Tarlac is dead, and then Tarlac comes back up with a special, and then now
Oh,
I've got a minion and I've got a Tarlac buff healing with a buff up of attack, and it's like this is why my green team doesn't need a dispeller because Mother North are usually res.
she's going to bring it back.
Yeah, and it's only two. All you need is her to go off twice. I'm telling you, the whole team's back. It's you, and even if she ledges the hero, you don't want res. It doesn't matter. She just that comeback is so strong.
But you've got the minion as well, so she's buffing. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's like a Sherman tank anyway, but she's also getting and giving everybody a minion. I can't remember what it is. Let's say it's 140, 150, something like that.
Yep.
And you can't take that for granted. That could be the reason between making it through an attack and not. So just an unbelievably good hero. I mean, for me, if we'd have made this list 4 months ago, it should have been 2 spots higher for me.
Yeah, she could have been easily. A lot of people are, the Heimdall with the shield. A lot of people, the 3 minion is the shield before Heimdall. So, I'm starting to see a lot of people play Freya in the purple, and I'm starting to see why people are running Freya. She has a really, really beefy minion, and minions are starting to play that uh, little shield meta. So like you have minions that you got to go through before you get to the hero, and it's really interesting. I think that makes a lot of the minion meta valuable, and Mother North has that meta. So I have nothing negative to say about this hero. I'm definitely glad she made top 3. I could see her even arguably making it 2, but I know why she's not. So let's go ahead and get to number 2. Your boy Heimdall, hands down. Heimdall is ridiculous. That's all I can say. He's ridiculous. Attack up, heal up, shield up. I res you. And oh, by the way, I have a realm bonus, and I can't. Well, let me go look and see what his realm bonus does, because that's important. So if he gets low, he actually adds a realm bonus, and I want to say his realm bonus is the healing one. Am I forgetting any other buff that he does?
Don't think so. I think you've pretty much covered it there. And again, Paladin, which just suits him down to the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get him on 20 emblems, I don't think he's far off 1,000 defense points. I think it's 9 something, which is just absolutely crazy.
So, and then I think when he's low, I think he does the 2%. I think that's what it is. I think it's a 2% increase when he's low of health. So he adds. So no, that's not him. No, that's the other one. I can't remember what that. Now I gotta go look at his card. I can't remember what the realm bonus is, and that's important. Hold on, let me see if I can find Heimdall's realm bonus real quick, because that's one thing that also makes him. You can't not knock the realm bonus.
Just while you're looking for that, one thing that we've overlooked in all of these heroes is what does a special look like when it goes off. And for me, this guy has the best animation special going. You get the lightning, you get the big, almost Horn of Gondor. It's type.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a real. You're like, go on.
Yeah,
So,
he has
but
a
yeah, the animation is just, I love it. Every time it goes off, it puts a smile on my face. Even, he's not a green, but Grimble with the wee goat going across the front of the screen.
yeah. I love the goat. I love the goat.
Love it.
I can't find his realm bonus right now. I'm trying to see it. I can't find it online. I'm looking, but I'm trying to also do a video, so I'm not trying to keep too long. But guys, don't forget about his realm bonus. I know it's pretty solid. Um, I don't have anything negative to say. This him being a paladin is just that much more better, like you said. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to you. Number one.
I don't think there's any surprise in the top of the charts. It is the one, the only. We've mentioned them more than anybody else, and we haven't even got to yet. It's Telluria. Um, I can't remember a hero coming out and making this big of a splash. Lover, hater, you are. If you get her, you're gonna level her.
You are.
It's just. I've never, ever, ever seen anything like it in this game. There are alliances that are closing because they don't like the way this hero has changed the game. Now, I think it's a bit extreme, but I understand. But yeah, she just does so much. If you don't get rid of her before she goes off, your percentage chance of winning just goes off a cliff.
Yeah.
You have got to pull a crazy board out just to get the win.
Not to mention just how the boards have changed. I feel like since she's come out, like I think it's amazing. I'm with you 100%. It's just amazing how influential she is. Just entering the game like right now.
Yeah.
It's just craziness going on with Telluria. Um, the
But
worst.
because we were mentioning before about does she get a nerf and doesn't she get a nerf? And my personal opinion is that she won't. I think she probably should, but so many people have got so many resource and money invested in it. I run her as a tank, and if they nerfed it, wouldn't bother me. Because I'm getting sick and tired of just thinking, right, Telluria. You come across like a Kunjan tank now, and I'm like, ooh, I'll have a bit of that.
Right. I
There's a bit
love.
of variation, just to mix it up. And but yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, I run her with Puss in Boots. I don't have Gravemaker, unfortunately. But again, with the minion meta, he's just doing all sorts, and yeah, she's just crazy.
The animation on this one's not too bad either. It's not new animation, but it's not bad. It's a combination of like Horkles with the centerpiece of the web
Yeah,
root.
yeah,
The I'll go backwards because you have so many good things about Telluria. Let's list the worst things about Telluria. The worst thing about her is her resistance. Resistance to minion, like so if the minion hit or takes away mana, that doesn't affect Telluria. That's the
mm,
worst thing about her. Second worst thing about her has to be her hit. Her hit is at 130%. That's not a really strong hit. Okay, that's the second worst thing about her. But she does hit everybody. So is that a bad thing, or like, come on? All right.
I mean, if she was a slow hero, I still think she'd be slightly overpowered, even at slow, because she just does so much. Because
Yes.
you're going to put her as a centerpiece as a tank,
Yeah.
because she's so tanky. The chances of getting rid of it is a 50-50. When the board loads up, it's 50-50 as to whether you're going to win that raid or not. And you can pretty much tell within what 2, 3, 4 moves as to how this is going to pan out,
You.
unless you get some unbelievably stupid cascade. The board loads up and you think, nah,
I
or
think.
oh,
I think what the bigger. I think kind of a hidden argument about what Telluria's problem is, or I think what the problem is, it's so discouraging when her special goes off because you have minions, you have mana down now, you just got hit. Everybody on that team is healing. It's discouraging because it's like it's
it's
four it's
disgusting, is what it is.
it's four things. It's four things that are going against you. All at
Yeah,
the same time. Minion, healing,
yeah,
hit, and I can't do any mana. Like you're like, and then usually if she's gone off at this point in the game, because like we were talking about, the emblems on the tanks are so high, she probably has
yeah.
her defense up. Like I go front, so now you're like facing her at her strongest, and you're like, she's just gonna heal up everything I'm about to throw into her, and more than likely that's true. Um, Nothing negative to say about Telluria. I wish that she had never came out, but she's here, so here we are.
Yeah, I mean,
Here we are.
Yeah, she's strong. She's
Yeah.
very strong.
Guys, I think that breaks this one down. Hutton, this has been great just talking, man. It's just awesome. Just you know,
No, I've enjoyed it. I've
yeah,
enjoyed it.
I
It's
had
been
a
really
great
good.
time. I didn't even know this was going to go this long, but I feel like this one was packed chock full of information.
I,
Uh,
I do get told I talk a lot, to be fair. So
yeah,
yeah, I do.
it was a nice synergy. I'm not going to front. You got
Yeah.
anything to say to the people while we're signing off?
No, just stay safe out there. What I would say to anybody in Grizzly Isolation Nation is if I don't log on for 24 hours, you might want to send the police around to the house because me and Mrs. Hutton 121. It's getting a little bit. 6 weeks in the house we've been together now. 6 weeks. She was reading 50 Shades of Grey yesterday. She's now reading 101 Ways to Dispose of a Body. I'm sleeping with one eye open.
Listen, man, if she what's the movie with Ben Affleck where he where his wife like faked her death? Um Gone Girl? If she starts watching Gone Girl, okay? This is when you need to call your brother or your sister and then say, "Hey, I'm gonna come visit you for a little bit," cuz it gets worse. And if she says, "Hey, let's watch this movie together," say, "No, I don't. I've already been warned about that movie. We're not watching that."
Do you know what's worrying me? Do you know what's worrying me the most? She went
Good.
out this morning for essentials. I'm thinking coffee, bread, and milk. She came back with a shovel, a bag of lime, and some plastic wrapping. They're going to find me underneath the flags in the patio.
All right, I think that's good, man.
So basically, if I don't log on, just keep your movement. Send the police round.
Oh man, guys, we're out. Thanks again for hanging with us. Hutton again, thanks again, man. We'll catch you guys later. Kilka out. Peace,
Lovely.
man.
See you later, guys.